Welcome to the first episode. I figured broadcasting on my personal accounts for at least the first couple of episodes would be probably, you know, the better way to try to get people involved or to understand what I'm really trying to do. And so that's why you see it on my personal accounts. But there is also a Facebook Live broadcast going on the Unconquered fan page on Facebook right now. So, you know, here it is. But basically why I created it, the podcast, what actually happened was I was just up in the middle of the night trying to really figure out, Malik, what are you good at? Because I'm good at a lot of things, but what are you good at? What do you enjoy doing outside of athletics? Because a lot of people know me personally, know I'm an athlete, played at the University of Miami, and I've been playing sports my whole life. So what I really wanted to do was figure out a way to connect with people because I feel like that's also something that I'm good at, also something that I've been doing for the longest of times. And I figured the podcast was the best way to do it. So I came up with the idea like 3 in the morning and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. And I'm really excited to really start trying to, get the first episode on the road. So, you know, and what I really want to do and tell you why it's needed is really because I watched Pay It Forward yesterday. I was told to watch Pay It Forward, and it added a new perspective for what this podcast can really do for people. And one of the questions the teacher asked in Pay It Forward was, think of a way to change the world and then put it in action. So this is my way of trying to, I guess, change the world. I'm paying it forward for whoever may be watching this right now or may listen to the recording on SoundCloud or YouTube later on down the line, because you never know who you can really help. And sometimes people can't see what they need. They might not know they need someone. So someone needs you and you don't even know it. And you may never know it. And you have to be okay with knowing that you could be helping people without really knowing that you're helping people. So what I really want to get into is the first, really the first topic of this podcast. This episode is going to be about learn to give without expectation. And I feel like that starts with awareness of self and awareness of others. Once you have a general awareness of what's going on around you and how it affects people, how it affects you, you can really start to, move in a way that's beneficial not only to you but to others. And I feel like when you're giving without expectation, you stop comparing your life or you stop comparing a certain situation to somebody else's situation, and you can gain from that immensely. Like you can gain so much more by, I gave somebody a piece of my food. Something as simple as that. I gave somebody a piece of my food, and it wasn't because I expected them to give me a piece of their food when they had some food and I didn't. It's just that, I wanted to give them a piece of my food. They seemed hungry or something like that. So, I feel like that's the first thing you have to do. You have to gain awareness that, you can actually give without expectation, and it actually is a lot less stressful because you're not comparing to everyone else's reality. And then you have to understand that you can't connect with everyone. I don't know who I'm going to connect with tonight on this podcast. I don't know who I'm going to connect with down the road on this podcast, but I feel like I can connect with somebody. And from that, you never know where those connections go. And the positive energy you have within that awareness that you're finding, through yourself and through other people and experiences can really catapult you into a lot of different situations. And the next thing I really want to talk about is after awareness is love. And I know this is a big a big topic. It's kind of heavy, whatever. But you really have to figure out what love is to you. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do because some people have this fairy tale version of love. Some people have tough love. Some people have so many different gray areas about what love is or what it isn't. And, so I feel like the first step is you just have to define it. What does it mean to you? How have you had it in your life? What love have you shown? What love have you received? Because it's two ends of it. A lot of people think you just give it and you don't receive it back. No, you receive it back. but it's about how you receive it back, and whether it's tough love, whether it's, you know, the fairy tale love that we kind of live and grow up learning about, you know. So whatever form of love and however you define it is really how you can really start moving forward after awareness. So after you define, I feel like you should cultivate more of it. Now that you've defined it, you know what it is, you should find out different ways to try to cultivate more of that love within your life and spread that love to other people, no matter how it is. And sometimes it's not easy because, like I said, when you give tough love to somebody, it's not easy to give tough love all the time, because, you know, people that you care about, you know, sometimes can take it as, you know, I know you, you know me, and now I'm offended because you know what I'm going through and you're telling me something that I don't really want to hear, you know. But at the end of the day, you look back on it and it should be fine, or it should be a mutual respect that tough love was given. So after you defined it, you cultivated more of it. Now you have to learn to accept it, because like I just said, if you're on the other end of that tough love, then you have to learn to accept that love how it was given to you. It might not be, you know, the love that you were expecting, which it goes back to learn to give without expectation. So, you know, now you have to learn how to accept that love, and once you have that love and you've accepted it, you can really start to move even more forward with trying to, you know, help people and really, you know, cultivate more of that love in whatever it is you do. And now it's back to inner peace. You know, that peace should come from, now you're aware. Now you know how to cultivate more love, and you're giving all of that without expectation. And from there, you can get some of that peace. And I wrote right here that you really should stop comparing yourself to someone else's highlights. And it's easier said than done in this age of social media, because social media is so it's really in your face. You can't really avoid it, you know, sometimes, but you can filter it. You can, you know, choose what you decide to partake in and really give your time to. So when you're on social media, try to, I guess, look at things that, you know, are cultivating that love, or motivating you to do more. So when you stop comparing yourself and you start doing, there's a different I guess there's a different mental battle that you start having in your own head. Now you're not comparing yourself to somebody. Now you're saying, oh, how can I do this? How can I do that? And you start figuring out different ways to spread what you have now, you know, learned about yourself and about others. And you got to understand that the status quo, or whatever you're comparing your situation or your life to, is something that you create in your head. Because most of the time, people aren't paying as much attention to you as you think they are. So, you know, when you lose, somebody's like, oh, he lost. When you win, somebody's like, oh, he won. You know, it's a lot of people that could care less about whether you win or lose. So then you have to care more about if you win or lose compared to yesterday. Yesterday is what you're comparing yourself to. You know, I'm not saying don't emulate, you know, a lot of people that you look up to, or greats, or you know, whatever field you're in. I'm not saying don't look up to professors or find mentors, because I'm a firm believer in mentor, and I like to think that I have, you know, probably more mentors than I need at the moment. But I try to use other people's mistakes to not make the same ones in my life, and not to use my mistakes to, you know, push me forward and not make the same mistakes that, you know, I made again. And I feel like that's really, really key to finding peace, and you stop shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak. So I say group together your wins, because people like to win more. If I can win $50 every week instead of winning $100, you know, one time a month, then I'm going to try to, well, that wasn't a really good comparison. If I could win if I have 2 weeks and I could win $50 this week and next week, and I can win $100 at all this week, I want to take the $50 this week and next week, because it's a win each week versus the $100 I just won in 1 week. So you look at things different, is how you frame it. And then you want to stretch out stretch out, group together losses and stretch out wins. So when you lose, take the L or learn from it or whatever, because you are going to lose at times in life, and from there, you don't dwell on it. You say, all right, that whole situation was an L. I'm throwing that situation out of the window and I'm done with it, versus that situation was an L. And then you start thinking about the numerous things that led up to that and how those things went wrong individually. You have to just group it and let it go versus stretching out your wins where you're saying, all right, I'm winning today. I'm winning today. I'm winning today. Day after day, day after day, day after day. And I feel like that's really how you get a lot of peace in your life. So to reiterate, what I just said, and this is new for me, so bear with me. I think I'll get better as I go along. And hopefully everybody can hear me on the lives. But just to reiterate it, the premise is positivity, the source is love, the peace is outcome. Become aware, define what love is to you, and stop comparing yourself to other people's highlights. And that's when you really can start to cultivate a lot more happiness. A lot of people are unhappy because they don't have what someone else has, but you got to understand that, I'm very spiritual and I hope I don't offend anybody out there, but God has made you perfect, lacking nothing. So you have everything you need in this life, including the people around you, because you need the people around you to help you get better. You have everything you need in this life to do whatever he's put you on earth to do. And I feel like this podcast is something that I'm meant to do. Maybe it branches off into something else, maybe it doesn't, but I feel like if I can help one person, even if I never know about it, it's a good thing. So what I really want for the podcast, because I don't want it just to be me speaking on live every time y'all get on here. I want people to send in messages, send in stories, whatever. If you don't want to be put your name on the podcast or whatever, I won't say your name or anything, but I really want people to bring to the table their stories, how they learned something, what's positive going on in their life, what they can do, if you live in a surrounding community, or a community anywhere really, because people aren't stationary, we move around all the time, but a community anywhere, and learn how to give back and try to put these things into practice, because you can't really learn how to do something until you start putting the things into practice. So I feel like if guys or girls or anybody just really sends in messages or about what they're going through in their life, how they persevere, how they overcome it. If I helped you, you can send that in. I'm glad. I'll be happy to hear that if I helped you get through the day. Also, doing it on Wednesday was strategic as well, because it's Wednesday. A lot of people might have a bad beginning to the week, but then listening to the podcast or some of the principles spoken on here or whatnot could help them get through their week, and they have a great Thursday and Friday, great Wednesday evening, great Thursday and Friday going into the weekend, and then they start to develop a pattern of that, and then they get into Sundays after church and going into Mondays, and now they have a better attitude because they're starting to just starting to change their mindset and how they're doing things. And I really feel like a lot of life is mental, because we need food, air, and water, and then after that shelter and everything. But most of the stuff we create in our minds becomes our reality, and from there, we start to take action based on what we believe or perceive as our reality. And it's really a lot of people that might be debilitated out here, man. They really might not be where they need to be mentally, and I'm trying to do what I can to help those people. So this one isn't going to be that long. That's pretty much all I had written down. I got through it probably a little bit faster than I thought I would. But then again, like I said, this is the first one. So, as it grows, I'll get better. You guys send me what you got in terms of encouragement as far as, stories or whatnot, and how you went through this or went through that. And, you never know who you may help. You know, you never know. It's crazy. So, you know, I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate everybody who may listen to this in the future. And praise God. Amen. So, appreciate it.